Good evening, everyone. My name is Deepa Singh, and I'm here to teach you science. I've taken my topic from this biology. Before I come to my topic, I would like to ask few questions from you. Okay, what do you see around yourself? Basically, I'm talking about the living organism. What do you see around yourself? The things. Yes, the answers are is the plants and animals. You see the different varieties of plants and animals around yourself. The plants, like you have seen the mango tree, the banana tree, guava, then the different types of herbs, rose, tulsi, then the different types of vegetables like spinach, cauliflower, cabbage, then animals, different types of animals like wild animals, pet animals, lion, tiger, dog, cats, different types of insects like cockroaches, earthworm, snake, frog. So what you have seen a different varieties of living organism around yourself, right? They have a different type of shape, they have a different type of size, they have a different type of eating habits, they have a different types of living habitats. So lots of variations you have found around yourself. Okay, but what do you see? What do you observe? There's one thing common in all those living organisms. Can you guess what? What is a common thing between all those living organisms? Yes, they all are made up of the common thing which you see and then is they all are made up of cell. Cell is the common thing. All living organisms, all living organisms are made up of. So here we can form a definition of cell, that cell is the basic unit of life. Cell is the basic unit of life. Cell is the structural unit of life. Okay. So if I come to the definition of cell, so how can I define it? The cell is the basic, fundamental, and structural unit of life. Right? So what is a cell? Cell is the basic, fundamental, and structural unit of cell is the fundamental structure and functional unit of all living organisms. Now, if I'm talking about the fundamental structure and functional unit of all living organism, let's explain this definition more. Okay, how can we explain it? See, if I'm talking about the basic and fundamental unit of life, you have seen a house. A house is made up of what? A house is made up of what? A house is made up of bricks, right? As the house is made up of bricks, same way the living organisms are made up of cells. Right? Like this, like the bricks are the building blocks, right? They are called the building blocks. Same way, the cells are also called the building blocks of life. They are the building blocks of life. They give a definite shape and structure to any kind of living organism, right? So this is the way as and how the cell is known as a structure unit of life because the different type of shape, size. This is also given by the cells only because the cells are also having a different type of shape and cells. They varies in numbers. They varies in numbers. They have a different type of size. They different type of shape. So all because of this, they have a different type of structure. So that's why the definition is formed that The cell is the basic, fundamental, and structural unit of life, right? Now, how the cell was discovered? How the cell is discovered? The cell was discovered by Robert Hooke in the year of 1665, who was an English scientist who observed the honeycomb-like dead cells and coined the term cell. Okay, so honeycomb-like structure, I just draw for you. What is a honeycomb-like structure which he has seen? He has seen a honeycomb-like structure this way. Under his primitive microscope. The microscope which was used by the Robert Hooke was primitive kind, in which you are not able to see the minute details like the microscope we are having in today's world. We have an electron microscope, we have a compound microscope we generally use in our school labs, right? So in which we can see the minute details of any microorganism, which we are not able to see through our naked eyes. But by using those microscope, we can see the minute details. So in the year of 1665, Robert Hooke has observed under his primitive microscope these honeycomb-like structure, which remind him the shape of cellula. Cellula means runes. Cellula means runes. So the word cell coined from this arises from the cellula. That means cell. So that's why the cell name was coined. So these structure which he had seen, it was he had observed in the cork, which is the part of the bark of the tree, which is the dead part, tree trunk, which is the dead part of the tree trunk. Okay, so he has observed only the boundaries of those cells, only the boundaries, outer structure of that particular cork. So he has coined those structure, remind him the rooms like structure which he has seen in the monastery, in which the nuns and monks lived, or those cells are also used by the prisoners of that time. So that's why he named it as a cell. So this way the cell was discovered. Okay, but that was the dead cell. But after 2 years later, another scientist, Anton von Leeuwenhoek, had discovered the living cells. He has observed living cells in the year of 1667. After that, with the help of the advanced microscope, another scientist, Robert Brown, discovered the nucleus in the year of 1833. After those, the many studies were laid down, and finally the cell theory was also laid down. Many scientists came forward and they put their best effort, they put their hypothesis, their theory in the field of the cell. Okay, so this way the cell theory was formed at that time. So then the scientists, like the next scientist, Matthias J. Sheldon, in the year of 1838, who was a German botanist, and Theodor Schwann, who was 1839, a British zoologist, they both proposed a cell theory. Matthias J. Sheldon has proposed that all living plants are made up of cells. Theodor Schwann has laid down that all the animals are made up of cells. So together they form a cell theory, that all living organisms are composed of cells and product of cells. After uh, uh, after a few years later, one more point was added to their cell theory, that the cells arise from the pre-existing cells through the process of cell division. That was discovered by the scientist Rudolf Virchow, who had discovered that the cell undergoes a cell division. They reproduce and form a new cells. So more points were added to the cells, that all cells arise from the pre-existing cells through the process of cell division, and the body of living organism is made up of one or more cells. That means the organisms can be unicellular, consisting of one cell, and they can be a multicellular consisting of many cells. Okay, so according to their number of cells, the organisms are categorized into two categories: unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms, which are consisting of a single cells. The single cells are capable to perform all kind of life processes. They are independent in their existence, like amoeba, euglena. They are the microorganisms which can perform their all body functions with the help of their single cell body. Then we have another category which have those organisms which are having more than one cell in their body. They comes in under the category of multicellular organism, which the examples are us, like human beings, animals, plants. They all comes under the category of multicellular organisms. We have a multicellular body. Our bodies consist of multiple cells. Those cells which combine to form tissues. Tissues form different types of organs. Then organs form different type of organ systems, and then the new whole one new kind of organ system is formed. So these cells, which are found in a multicellular organisms, they are varies in their shape, size, according to their functions they are going to perform. So based upon their functions, they have a different type of shape and size. So these are also varies from plants to animals. Plants have a different type of cells, animals have a different kinds of cells. According to the functions they perform in their plants and animals. For example, in the plants, the sclerenchyma and parenchyma cells, parenchyma, which are polyhedral in shape, sclerenchyma, which have a spindle-shaped body. Its function of parenchyma is storage. The main function is storage. And sclerenchyma, which provides a mechanical support to the body. Then we have a different type of animal cells like nerve cells, red blood cells, and muscle cells, which are also having a different type of shape and size. Nerve cells, which are having a long and branched cells conducting the nerve impulses, passing messages through all over the body from the spinal cord and brain. Then we have an RBC, which is having a biconcave cell, which is passing is responsible for carrying oxygen, carbon dioxide from heart to lungs and lung to heart. Right? See, these are the different parts of the body. These are the parenchyma cells having a polyhedral shape, right? Which the main function is storage. Then the sclerenchyma, which is having a elongated shape. The function is to provide a mechanical support to the plant. Then we have a muscle fibers, which is having also elongated body, which is responsible for the movement of the body. Then which are flexible in their shape and size. Then we have our RBCs, biconcave shape, which carries oxygen and carbon dioxide from heart to the body part and body part to the heart. Then we have a nerve cells, which is a branch and elongated structure which carries messages. Right? So this way we observe that we have a different type of shape and size of the cell which carry, and these cells are performing a different type of functions. The multicellular organisms, as the shape and size varies, the size varies from few microns to few centimeters. The smallest living cells which is found on earth is the PPLO, pleuropneumonia-like organism, which is a bacterial cell, which the size is 0.1 micrometer. And the largest living cells on earth is the egg of an ostrich, which is varies from 170 to 180 mm in diameter. So the bacteria are the smallest cells found on the earth that varies from 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer. And sclerenchyma cells, which are found on the plant, they varies up to 60 centimeters in length. So this way we have found that the cells have a different type of shape, size, and numbers according to the different type of living organism. So in this topic, we have covered what is cell theory, and an overview of a cell, that how the cells varies in the shape, size, and in their number. The next topic is what the basic structure of cell, which I will take in my next lecture. I hope this topic is clear to you. What is cell? What is cell theory? How it is discovered? And how the shape, size, and number varies from organism to organism. Right? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.